G'day guys, Googs here. You're welcome to my drunk philosophy. Today I'm going to be talking about Seiks, the Seik people, the people from the subcontinent who carry around as a part of their tradition a large dagger in their clothing. A large dagger. Now, considering the history of the Seik, it's fair enough. They had people attacking them from the left, the right, the inside out, and all around them. They had enemies everywhere because people didn't like their particular religious point of view and the relative pacifism, and I do say relative, pacifism of their culture. So they started wearing these daggers, specifically for self-defense and to defend others who are weak against attack. That was the entire purpose of the ceremonial dagger. That made a lot of sense a few hundred years ago. Okay, that made a lot of sense then. It doesn't make as much sense now. This is all leading into the fact that over in New South Wales, the state government there has just banned the use of, well, not the use necessary, but the wearing or observance of the cultural tradition of the Sikh people and their children to wear these ceremonial knives to public schools. I didn't even know they were allowed to take them up till this point. You see, taking weapons to school has never been a cool thing. But apparently the whole world is blowing up about how racist Australia is, or New South Wales government is, for banning ceremonial 6-inch, deadly as fuck daggers from the schoolyard. Oh, but the Sikh people only use them for peaceful... No, they don't. They stab people who try to kill them. Or if they see someone being attacked, their culture says, hey, just get out your knife and stick them. Now, I know that doesn't happen in our schools. There's never been a case of it, but there's a problem, you see. We don't allow our kids to take deadly weapons to school. Traditional or not. You are not supposed to have knives, guns, grenades, crucifixes, whatever you want to call it, put a bunny on a cross. You're not allowed to take a trebuchet, a bow and arrow, any of that sort of shit. You can't take it to school. Boomerang, no, you can't take a boomerang to school. Not one that's used for hunting. You can use a play boomerang, a plastic one or something like that you can throw and you can learn how it winds back at you. But a proper traditional Aboriginal hunting boomerang, which is a very different thing to what most people envision as a boomerang, go look it up. No weapons. In Australia, we've got a really fucking good track record of not having major problems in our schools with shootings and stabbings. Now, they do happen, but you're not supposed to take weapons to school. And the people go, oh, but it's the tradition of the thing, the Sikh tradition, you racist bastard bigot, Australian prick. We don't allow Aboriginal people to take the killing hunting weapons of the boomerang nor the spear to school either. That's their traditional weapons, is it not? We don't see too many kids who've come from Europe. Okay, they were 5 or 6 years old. Their parents immigrated over to Australia. We don't see a young Helga with a bearded axe running around school going, barbarian! We don't see Helga doing that. We don't see an English kid who's just been brought over by their family at the age of 8 with a short sword and a shield going, oh, I'm at you, you bastard. We don't see that. But they're the traditional weapons of those people. How about a Japanese kid? He goes, my great-great-grandfather was shinobi, so therefore I must carry around a 4.5-foot long katana that can go through anything. It's a traditional weapon for the Japanese. How about the Chinese? You don't see them with hook swords. Chinese kids walking around with hook swords, but that's tradition. Well, how about an American kid? You don't see him walking in with a 9mm because that's pretty traditional for an American kid to take to a school. Shit, I'm not supposed to go that far, but you know what I mean. Because if the Sikh kid's allowed to take their traditional dagger, that opens the floodgates. Kid walks in there, Aboriginal kid walks in there with a big pointy stick and they go, oh, you, sorry miss, tradition. Tradition. You know, young Helga's running around, the teacher's like, Helga, put down that bearded axe. And she goes, why? It's tradition. I come from a Viking nation. I want to go Viking. You can't stop it at that point. Once you say it's fine for a traditional weapon of a group of people to be used in schools, or not used, but to be carried in schools, it's open slather. It's open bloody slather. Because you can't deny an Aboriginal kid taking in a hunting boomerang or a spear. You can't stop them. It's tradition. You can't stop the English kid with a short sword and a shield. You can't stop little Helga running around going, ah, kill you all, hammer, ah, with a bearded axe. You can't stop her. It's tradition. Can't stop the Chinese kid with the hook swords. You can't stop the Japanese kid with a katana. You can't stop them. It's fine. Do it. You know, little man over there running around with a scimitar. You know, talking about I don't know what, because he's from the Middle East, so he can get away with that, right? This needs to stop. No, we don't want weapons in our schools. I don't care how traditional they are, they don't belong in a fucking modern school. Today's school. No, they don't belong there. They do not belong in our education system. And the other point, of course, is if people do get away with it, now all these people know that if there's a Seik in school, he's got a knife, a 6-inch knife. That is very sharp and can be used for killing people. And that knife now is known and it can be stolen. It can be stolen. Well, that's not good. Some ne'er-do-well bully comes along and goes, I'll just grab that and starts running around and, you know, starts stabbing crew or uses it outside of the school or whatever it is. And I know that the Seik people, once again, they have the best intentions. That weapon is in their culture not designed to be drawn unless their life is in danger or they are protecting the life of somebody else who's in danger. I understand that. But it can be used against you and it can be used against others. Because there are most people aren't a part of your culture and don't care. And that's true. And even if they did care and did understand your culture, it's not their culture. No weapons in the schools. I'm sorry, Seik people. I mean, if you want to do a plastic version of the same or something like that, there's some pretty cool replicas out there that can be made. And I know that's not exactly what you're looking for, but it's probably a better idea than actually taking a proper metal knife to school. I'm Googs. This is my drunk philosophy. Be good, be safe, don't be evil, and I'll see you on the next one.